Hello, I'm Toycat, and I've been playing Minecraft Survival on the same world for just over 9 years now, except until a couple of weeks ago when that world corrupted and became entirely unplayable. That's right, my 9-year-old Let's Play world is actually broken, as of the recording of this video, because an update came out that seems to have entirely broken the way that Minecraft reads that world, and I wanted to make this video just to explain how you can avoid this happening to a world that you care about, and also what exactly happened here. I have reached out to several Minecraft developers, and the good news is this particular issue is being fixed in a future update sometime soon, I imagine, but I wanted to explain exactly what happened and how it can, because this can be devastating if it happens to someone you care about and you don't have a backup to watch out. So there's a lot to explain today, but I want to start with the very fun thing of like, what do you mean it's broken, Toycat? And let's start by explaining that just after I downloaded the update, which was just before my stream on Thursday, I then spent an hour building this random block pathway. It was ugly, but that was kind of the point of the whole thing, and I spent an hour working on this, and the world was a bit laggy during this time, but I thought it was fine. But then when I left the world and came back, all of the work I'd done in the previous hour had just not saved for some reason. The save function of the world was broken, and this really hurt. It was very demoralizing, but I thought, fine, I've lost an hour of work, but I mean, if you really think about it, like, it's an opportunity to do it again, but better, or something like that. I tried to be optimistic, but then when I tried to load up the world, just off camera, the world was just having some real issues. None of the items were working for me, and I tried to show you in this video just how badly the world was broken, and rather than explaining, let me just show you this clip of me playing it on the realm. Hello, I'm Toycat, and I think I owe you a little bit of an explanation as to what happened with my Let's Play world, because it's one of the biggest and most bizarre issues that is a reminder to everyone to be careful with your Minecraft world. Oh. Well, okay. I've never had this before. Unable to connect a world, huh? And so, yeah, as you can see, it literally crashed the Minecraft servers themselves that I pay £3.29 a month to access. And I thought that, like, okay, well, maybe the servers are just broken. So I downloaded the world to make a personal copy on my own local PC. And what happened was I tried to load it up. It spent 10 minutes not loading up, but consuming 21 gigabytes actually, of system memory. And then after those 10 minutes, it looked like it was about to load, and it actually just crashed my PC, gave me a blue screen. And then it took a while to reboot and get back into making this video in this style instead. And so long story short, I can't access this world whatsoever, and if this is the only copy of your world at this point, you are screwed and there is literally nothing you can do. Fortunately, because this is both a world that I release it to the public via the Minecraft marketplace, and so I have some commercial copies that I put out there, but also fortunately I have heard of people corrupting their worlds for the last 10 years, so I've made regular backups. I do about once a month a manual backup, and then on top of that, what I also have is I have a Minecraft realm which does an automatic backup every few hours or so. So I figured, okay, something weird has happened here. I'll load a couple hours old backup and everything will be wonderful. But something I noticed is that every single backup I tried that was in the version 1.17.34 seemed to have this exact same issue where memory usage was off the charts. It would kick me out of the world, or it literally wouldn't load up and it would crash my entire system. And so something I've realized is that update clearly broke my Minecraft. 1.17.34, if you're curious, is an update which released on October the 5th of 2021 and seemingly did next to nothing. It just says it fixed an issue with owned content not appearing in the inventory after redeeming a retail code, and so the issues are more likely to come. After speaking with developers, they seem to believe this is true too. The 1.17.32 update, which was a bug fix which fixed a few things, but notably it fixed crashes that could occur during gameplay. And so something Minecraft released in that update that fixed crashes and no doubt would solve a lot of other people from their catastrophic problems actually caused me some very catastrophic problems of my own, which we just mentioned. So yeah, as you can tell, now we're at the situation where our world is broken. We're lucky that we have backups that span quite a while, but what do you actually do in this situation, especially if, like me, you've put quite a few hours of work in, not just in the stream that got immediately deleted, but also I built this, or most of a pretend desert temple for some background gameplay, and all of the other just small tasks I'd done across the week in Minecraft. Do I just accept that those things go away? And the short answer is, yeah, that's exactly what you have to do. Even if you have backups like I have, you still are going to lose some progress to these. And that's why I think it's so important that even though we can, blame this on individual users, like, well, Toycat, you shouldn't have a Minecraft world that's a gigabyte large. And it is actually a full gigabyte at this point. You shouldn't be having a Minecraft world where you do too many different things. And you shouldn't have a Minecraft world that you start on the Xbox 360 and then move to the Xbox One and then move to Bedrock. How crazy of you. This is all your fault. Or, however you want to blame the individual users, even if we do, as users, act perfectly, and I do make backups as frequently as Minecraft allows me, I'm still losing hours of work. And let me show you the backup that we actually have as the most recent functional working one. Okay, there's been a little bit of a snag. I loaded up a copy of the world from 3 days before the world issue happened, except while playing around with it, I noticed things were a bit strange, and I don't know how quite to explain it to you, but things aren't quite working the way they're meant to. I tried to use a firework, and obviously the moment I start showing you right now, it doesn't work. But here's a recording where you can see that firework did not work. Here you can see it using a bed was very tricky, and just doing everything is a lot harder than it probably should be. But yeah, right now Minecraft is using far too much memory, and performance is definitely suffering as a result. And I don't even know if the world is broken or fixed yet. So we might have to load an even older backup than this one. So I mean, if it'll fix things and mean that blocks don't just mysteriously vanish. See, right? What sense does that even make? What is... yeah, we're gonna have to load up an older backup because even this one seems to have the same issue, just slightly less for some reason. So given that October the 4th has caused some issues, I could go back to October the 1st, but that's also in 1.17.32, which is based on my conversations with developers likely to have the exact same issue. The oldest version I can tell for a fact won't is all the way back in September 16th, a full 2.5 weeks of loss, and also, the last month that I haven't been playing on the world because it hasn't been working. So I'm going to try the October the 1st version because, I want to believe that this is okay. And so we'll download the backup and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so this backup seems to be just after the Let's Play episode where I built myself a delightful... I hope I built myself... No, it's midway through the Let's Play. My furnace house is gone. But performance is fine, as you can see. If I try to fly, everything works wonderful. And a brief check on my memory usage seems to confirm that that is entirely okay as well. I'm genuinely very heartbroken at this idea. But yeah, that's just proof that on top of all the stuff I knew I'd lost prior to going to this video, I was trying to stay calm and composed about losing hours worth of Minecraft work, which no one wants to do. I mean, again, I was willing to accept it, but that was just me being a mature adult. I don't actually want to accept losing hours of work in my Minecraft world for something I did nothing to provoke or cause, that some Minecraft update happened to not like my Minecraft world, and now I've lost that. Except that's exactly what's just happened, but now even more. My only hope is that the cobblestone generator I built in the last Let's Play episode that I made, if I'm not mistaken, my only hope is that, okay, this is still fine. My cobblestone generator is running A-okay. It's just my furnace house that's missing, and so... yeah, I have a lot of furnaces. Anyway, so, yeah, long story short, this is genuinely what I'm now going to have to do. I have to lose a full week of work on this world, plus all the weeks that I just haven't been playing because it hasn't been working, and it sucks on some level, but I want to use this as a reminder because I've always told people before, hey, I've had many subscribers who told me their long-term worlds, that was weird, I've had subscribers warn me their long-term worlds have broken because of something or other, some corruption issue. They turned off their PS3 while saving, or just a new update would break their Wii U world. And so, obviously, these are things you can't plan for in advance. You don't know you're going to turn off your PS4 while it's saving. You don't know that the latest Minecraft 3DS update is going to break your world. So I've always said, have a backup every now and then, just in case. because you don't want your last traceable world to go up in flames of an update. So always make regular backups because that's important, has always been my stance. But this is the first time I've had a world I care about, the world I care about most, my Let's Play world itself. This is the first time I've had a world this big suffer something so tragic. And at risk of accidentally causing the same bug to happen, the only thing I can tell for a fact is that there is a chunk somewhere over there that is causing this. If we look over here, in fact, you can tell, I'm worried it'll actually just re-happen as we do this. So if we take a look over here, one of these chunks, again, it's actually not one with the builds on it, it's one of the random chunks in the middle of the desert. One of these random chunks, just for some reason, is much larger than it should be. It is taking up hundreds of megabytes when it should be, you know, like a series of bytes instead, at most like a single megabyte. And so there's some memory leak issue or file size leak issue that happens around here specific to that update. It isn't anything that I did, as best I could tell. I mean, in the sense that everything is a result of something you did, because clearly this world is working in the same update and we haven't caused the memory leak yet. Wait, I'll check that if that's true. Yeah, that is true. We're in this part of the world and there is no memory leak yet, so clearly something about that update and the way I loaded it in here and the blocks that were in the chunk caused Minecraft to go haywire. And the good news is they fixed this particular bug. In the internal versions, they fixed it. The next bug fix update they released, I imagine, will include it. I actually asked because I was curious, like, so what did cause the issue? And it's such a sensitive bug that they could not tell me. They could not clear with the PR team that this was an okay thing to share. And so as a result, I don't know what caused this bug. I know it's apparently quite sensitive. Maybe that relates to the fact that they updated the way world ownership works, and maybe it caused a weird bug here. But I can't say for sure. Besides, something about building this terrible build in this rough area of the desert caused such a serious issue that it genuinely broke my entire world. And as you can see, it's fine now, despite the fact that it's the exact same blocks in the exact same chunk. Although it was a bit stuttery. Wait, is it fine? Okay, no, memory usage is A-okay. Is it going up? 2820 is where we're at right now. If I say that later and it's significantly above 2820, we've got a problem. But yeah, thanks to this, I finally have my own story that I can use as a genuine precaution, because I'm one person. The odds of this happening ever again are actually quite slim. I mean, my Minecraft world is incredibly large, so it's more likely to happen than anywhere else. But the truth is, there are hundreds, if not thousands of you watching this video. And if you're watching this video and you think to yourself, yeah, that won't happen to me, statistically, you're correct. But as an aggregate, it will happen to some number of people watching this video, and every single one of you will think, yeah, but it won't happen to me. And as you can see, I've lost not only my my pathway, not only my furnace house, which I now have to rebuild, not only my additions to my big wall over there, which again was fun background gameplay, but still I enjoyed it, and not only my desert temple, but also my furnace house is lost too now. I'm like genuinely heartbroken about that, and I don't know if you can tell from my tone. But yeah, that is something that really sucks. But this is the only thing I can do at... Wait. I don't like that. I don't like that it seems to be happening even here. Look at the cat over there, the ocelot, just standing still for an extended amount of time. Is everything okay? Please tell me everything's okay. Okay, it seems fine. But yeah, this is a really tragic thing. And this, you know, okay, so... obviously, the lesson from this video is make backups regularly. I recommend once a month minimum. Once a week is... Obviously, the ideal time to do a backup is every single day, but that's a lot of effort. So work out an amount of time that you feel comfortable backing up your world in. And worst case, you're keeping a historic record of your world. Best case, something like this happens and you don't lose a furnace house. I mean... I love the furnace house. It was important to me. I guess my only point of solace is that the ocean that I obviously drained out is still here, and I didn't lose the 30-something hours of live stream work there. But still, it's not much of a consolation. So yeah, this is a really interesting thing I want to talk about. So this is going to be obviously a different Let's Play episode. It's here mostly to talk about, here is what happened. We don't know because the developers won't share, but we know an update broke the world and a future update will fix the world. I was really grateful, by the way, for... I had not just one, but two Minecraft developers reach out and offer to, like, look around the world and see what was maybe causing it. Because Minecraft does not want this to happen either. This was not some grand conspiracy by them. And, like in the real world, there are all sorts of bad events that happen all the time that no one wants to have happen. You ever think, like, oh yeah, there's one guy out there cheering on the murder statistics going up. No, generally speaking, most people, even murderers, don't want more murderers, right? Because the more murders there are, the more likely you're going to do something about it. So everyone is on team anti-murder. Everyone is on team we should have fewer people steal things, you know, like even people who steal things aren't like proud of it in most cases. And you know, in the same way, the Minecraft developers aren't, whoever maybe caused this bug isn't happy they did it. And I'm sure even crazier than that is the fact that, you know, like the only way you could prevent something like this happening to someone is if every single Minecraft world is checked with every single update before the update happens. Okay, thank you, Mr. Guardian. But you know, like I feel like that's the only way you could actually fully prevent this from happening. And of course, that's ridiculous. You have to kind of triage as a team and be like, yeah, unless we're breaking everyone's Minecraft worlds, and I'm sure they do a lot of rigorous testing to make sure that most worlds are unaffected by most updates. But like, you know, like there's no way to stop this happening at some point to somebody. And so given that that happens to somebody, this is the warning about it. And I don't know, it's an interesting thing about the world that you don't realize, that when you're like, when you first hear about an issue, some grand issue that's happening. Oh, actually, I built it slightly wrong, I remember. So this is an opportunity for me to actually fix it. So there's the consolation. I can build my giant furnace house slightly nicer than it was before. But yeah, I think there's a really interesting problem that we have as people. And like, you know, when you first hear about an issue, you're like, oh, everyone else just doesn't know about this. If we knew about the issue, we'd all just come together and magically solve it. And the real tragedy is that, like, actually, no. If there's a lot of issues that we know about, but we know we can't functionally do anything to solve. Or we do know we can do something to solve, but we all disagree about how to solve it. There are all sorts of issues like that in the world all the time. And I feel like when you approach people and you say, hey, you clearly don't know about this thing, it's entirely impossible to stop. You kind of turn them off in that way. And that's why I think it's much more effective to say, hey, yeah, there are bad things that happen. How do we, like, mitigate the bad things? Like, understanding the world as a system. Oh, we actually have to build these back ones facing the other way. I'm in a hole with an ocelot now. How did this ocelot get here? This is very distinctly not a jungle. You know, that's a question for another day. But, yeah, there are all sorts of things that happen that are, like, kind of maybe even bad. Maybe even the murderers and the thefts of this world. And it's like, yeah, the question is not, is anyone going to have this happen? It's like, how do you prevent this happening for more people? And especially if you have people you care about, how do you stop it from happening to them? Hopefully people you care about includes, you know, the vast majority of the members of our society. But even if it doesn't, it's important to say. And so that is why I'm making this video with the long-winded point about how we view things as society. Because, I don't know, it's kind of a weird one because, I don't know, like, I genuinely thought for the longest time to name just a random issue in the real world. The United States of America has very scant public transportation options. Why is that true? Let's make a whole video talking about it, huh? I think I tried to destroy most of these. You know, it's fine. I'll just leave them that way, and then I'll build walls this way out. But you know, like, America has very poor access to public transport, and as someone who lives in a city that has great public transport, it's like, oh, you guys don't realize how public transport works. Like, it's like not everyone has to drive, and so that, you know, it's great not only for, you know, like, you can get places, and it helps, you know, like, everyone in society or whatever. But in reality, it's like, actually, because it's so scant when it does exist, it's like a public service, and so it's seen as, like, being, you know, like, it's not that everyone in America just hasn't heard of the concept of public transport, which is always your first go-to, like, oh, do you guys not realize that the atmosphere has all this CO2 going into it? We should make less CO2. It's like, no, that's not the unique thought. Everyone knows, like, that the issue is working out how do we do that in a way that, like, preserves the lifestyles that we've become accustomed to in the West or whatever. And in the same way, yeah, everyone should know that, like, yeah, that Minecraft is a buggy game. Minecraft Bedrock especially, but Minecraft Java too. All sorts of issues are being fixed every single week. You can find this out on the bug tracker. Wait, we'll do a fun thing where we scroll through the bug tracker and show you, like, yes, lots of bugs were fixed in just the latest beta or snapshot. And that's on top of all the features they added to the latest beta or snapshot, replace as appropriate. And so, like, you know, like, Minecraft is a buggy game. And some of those bugs are harmless, like quasi connectivity, the weird redstone on Java. That's actually just a bug people are so used to that they see as a feature, which, you know, funny comment on society, I'm sure. And in the same way, you know, there are all sorts of other bugs that, like, we see as being terrible, even though actually it's kind of a inevitable result of 2 bits of Minecraft behavior. I'm gonna check the RAM. I'm so worried the world's gonna start breaking. No, we're fine. Okay, this actually is a good copy of the world. Okay, I've been checking this whole video, by the way, and this is a good copy of the world. It hasn't got the same memory leak issue. I can play it, and my eating has worked just fine the whole time. My fireworks are working. My memory, it's only using 2 gigabytes of memory as opposed to 20, which 2 is still like a fair amount, but again, we've got our render distance set pretty high. Look, we can see the spruce tree we planted in the air for donations be able to buy them, so you know, it's totally fine. Anyway, it's so weird to rebuild something you've already made yourself. And so yeah, this is like the PSA of like, yeah, everyone knows Minecraft is buggy. Everyone knows that, like, yeah, someone's world gets corrupted. This is the message of like, yeah, it could be yours. Having backups is not only a way to keep a record of your world and all those other things, it's also a way to make sure that you don't have to have this happen to you. But even then, I don't think that's a compelling enough argument for why you should take security precautions. Like, people are, I don't know, what's... something I've become very terrified of recently, because there's been a huge string of machete attacks for people on bikes. I wish I was making that up, by the way, but we'll have Harrison throw on the article of people being attacked in Richmond Park, a really rich area of London, too, for their bikes. And it's like, you know, it's... First of all, very tragic, do have to say, before anything else. Oh, I think actually I want to remove this whole layer, because I think it's stuck out. I forgot how I even built this. This is the tragic thing about losing so much. Like, how do I even rebuild this correctly? How do I make a little awning that works how I actually want it to? I don't know the answers to any of these questions. Okay, I think that's pretty good, right? And we'll have that be like 3 blocks wide. Yeah, we'll do that. Go on then. But yeah, there are all sorts of things in security that come down to like, yeah, this doesn't really, like, I would rather just take the risk. I mean, there's a reason insurance exists, right? Like, it's like, you know, I'll just pull the risk, not think about it on some level. But there are also some forms of risk that make everyone more at danger. And so one of the things I wanted to raise in this video is that keeping backups of a world is not only great for you personally, you can avoid a lot of damage that would otherwise happen to your world should you... We have to add little windows to this house, by the way. But you can avoid a lot of damage that would otherwise be befalling you because you've got a backup and you're kind of prepared that way. But the other really cool thing, and the reason I wanted to mention this, is that also the reason I was able to diagnose my world, work out what happened and work out what maybe potentially caused it, and even, here's the crazy thing, my world going to the developers, because most people don't keep backups of their world, so it was impossible for the developers to work out what all these people had in common amongst their broken Minecraft worlds. Like, everyone has this same issue where, obviously for me it's, like, their device, it's in some cases an Xbox or a Switch, just turns off because it gets so overwhelmed, and like, that's a bad thing, but how can they work out what's wrong with the world? Obviously, if they take the broken world and they load it up themselves, do you know what's going to happen? Their Minecraft is just going to crash, and they're not going to get as much useful information as they want. So instead, what they can do is they can take older copies of a world, should they exist, and they can, you know, like, play around with things until they can recreate the bug. And so... the real reason that you should be making backups, if you don't care about your own personal self, which I personally think that, you know, just like the public transport thing, like, do you really want public transport for other people? I mean, like, I'm not going to use it. I drive a car, and I don't want my taxes paying for it. But actually, it's cool because you can ride it when you're too impaired to drive, maybe after consuming, you know, glowberry juice or whatever else it is. I think I have to remove this whole pillar right here, actually. But like, you know, so, ooh, there we go. Now it's good for everyone. It's not just for some people. I feel like having the angle of, like, this will benefit everyone individually is what we should do. But also, if you're not the sort of person who cares about doing things that are good for yourself as an individual, which is totally fine. I think that's actually respectable. Very, very commendable, even. But, like, okay, maybe the big selling point here is the fact that this actually will help with everyone else. How do we avoid bugs like this happening all the time? The simplest way is if everyone, every single human being, has backups of their world. So not only is the damage averted to them, but it's averted to everyone else. This is one of the most fascinating things about security in the real world. Think about like having a big, scary alarm on the front of your house, a burglar alarm, let's call it. That doesn't stop burglars from robbing. It stops burglars from robbing you. If a burglar sees that you have a burglar alarm, you know what's going to happen? He's going to go, oh, I won't rob this guy, I'll rob the house next door. Or, you know, realistically, the next house that is of equal wealth and value or whatever else. And so, in the same way, this like kind of collective security versus personal security does come up all the time in the real world. Like, for instance, a form of security that is, okay, so we got to make sure it matches this time. It's an even number of blocks wide. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the end. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then the end. Look at that. Using this as an opportunity to build back better, perhaps we could say. Ooh, look at that. Look at that crazy wording I'm using. But better than having a burglar alarm is if you have a security camera in your house. Having a security camera, let's say it's a hidden one just to make sure it's true, will not stop you from being robbed in the moment necessarily, unless you advertise the fact that you have one. But let's say you have a hidden security camera, it doesn't stop you being robbed. A burglar will still come around and he'll have your lovely, nice TV, but then he'll be caught for his crime and he won't be able to do it again. You see the difference there? It prevents the cause rather than preventing the thing. And let's just say that you do have one that is can actually catch people. You've got a camera, but then you advertise it. Now you can both protect yourself, and if anyone does, come into you, protect other people. And let's just say that it becomes widespread knowledge in the thievery community. There must be a thieving community, right? There's no way there's not. But let's say it becomes widespread knowledge that, like, yeah, you can't go into people's homes anymore and take their stuff because people have cameras. The nerve on these people taking away my livelihood. I mean, I also felt bad during the first stage of the pandemic, right? Like, all these people who make a living stealing from people's homes when they're not in, like, ooh, how are you gonna know when someone's going to work in an age where everyone works from home? I'm just saying, we should be considering petty theft criminals more when we make public health decisions, is all I'm saying. But I do think that, more seriously, I think there is an interesting point in there that, like, yeah, if the entire community knows about that, they'll move on to a different type of theft. Or maybe they even give up theft altogether is what you hope, and then you've achieved a better result for everyone. Or to put it better, there's like two types of security. There's individual security and there's collective security, and if you make things collectively secure enough, then you don't need individual security anymore. If it's widely known that everyone has a security camera inside their house that they don't advertise or anything like that, then now you don't need an individual security camera. Although when that happens, there's this very interesting thing that, like, once enough people stop doing that individual thing, then obviously everyone needs to start doing it again, because thieves realize, wait, no one even has a camera, why don't we just start stealing from people again? And so, this is not looking good yet. We're gonna get there, but we're not there yet. And so, yeah, in roughly the same way, a way that you can make Minecraft better for yourself if you have a long-term world you care about, and I imagine if you watch this channel you do, is of course what you can do is you can back up your Minecraft world. It is very important to have backups at some stage. I don't care how... Did you see that? What just happened there? It's important to have backups for your world at some point. I don't care what frequency you use, as long as you're happy with it. But backups are something that also can help out everyone else, and so yeah, it's important. I think it's also very cool if you care about your world a lot, being able to look at older versions of it. I have many regrets about some of the old worlds I can't access to this day, and maybe this is a reminder to everyone, or maybe it's not, honestly. This is your opinion to have. I hope you all enjoyed this video though. Like it if you liked it, share it if you really liked it. I don't know when we'll get back to the normal Let's Plays, but I hope soon, because what I'm hoping is the bug fix that fixes the world comes out soon and we can ignore all of this. But I know realistically, again, expect the best but plan for the worst, and you'll be in a good position, I feel like. Speaking of good positions, I hope you all enjoyed this video, because I'm gonna see you all tomorrow. I feel like we've been talking about 1.19 a lot, but there's so much I want to say, and tomorrow we'll be talking about some mob designs and whatnot. So, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you did all enjoy, because I'll see you all next time. Good boy. time. Good boy. There's probably a dog watching this that's very excited to hear that. That'd be a good, like, after outro thing, I guess.